And joining me now from Hong Kong is Matt Corbett, Deputy Principal of the Secondary School at Discovery Bay International School. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. Hong Kong number 3 in the table, of course, of the PISA test league, and one of the cities representing China. Now, as we mentioned, you're working at an international school, so you're seeing children presumably from a lot of different backgrounds coming together and coming from different education systems. How do you find Chinese children compare in their attitudes to study to children from Europe?
That's a good question. There's a lot of drive, there's a lot of added pressure, I think, from home. Parents are heavily involved in a child's learning at home, I guess across the board over here, but certainly with the local Chinese students. Parents take a lot of responsibility for their child's learning. At the same time, they spend more time studying, and a lot of our students have tutors outside of school also.
Is that pressure good for the children ultimately, do you think? OK, it might be reflective of the reality of modern life and global business, but, you know, is it good for them ultimately in terms of the amount of stress that it's putting on them?
I would say no. You know, a test only paints half the picture, and I think the other half of the picture is ensuring that students have a well-rounded education, are heavily involved in extracurricular activities, and they're creative learners. They aren't just focusing on tests. And as the latest PISA results have shown, South Korea, for example, among the highest achievers, yet the most unhappy of us all.
Do you see any differences between pupils of Asian background versus non-Asian background in terms of their families' attitudes to whether they should be studying those core academic subjects or whether they should be looking into after-school activities, etc., that we might typically see over here?
Yes, yeah, I do. And but the longer the Chinese students are in international schools like ours, that pressure and attitude from parents and therefore students seems to change over time. But certainly there's a big emphasis on the core subjects of maths, English and science, and less attention perhaps paid to the geographies, the histories, the phys eds and so forth.
I suppose it depends ultimately how you define success, doesn't it? And that influences a parent in terms of choosing a certain path in education for their children. But it seems to me from what you're saying that you clearly believe producing a more well-rounded child through a range of subjects is the way to go.
I do. Academic rigour, of course, it's important, and as you said earlier, it does prepare our students for working life and for reality. But at the end of the day, you want happy people, don't you, in a happy society, and ensuring our students are well educated but have a well-rounded education goes a long way to do that. So, you know, it's important that people, that society and the government and the media appreciate the fact that it's not all about specific tests such as the PISA results, and it's got a lot more to do with developing, you know, global citizens who are globally competitive and who are creative.
So just in a line, Matt, would you therefore treat the results of these PISA tests with a note of caution?
Yes, I would. I'd celebrate them, certainly, and we do in this part of the world. But as I said, it paints half the picture.
OK, Matt Corbett, Deputy Principal of the Secondary School at Discovery Bay International School in Hong Kong. Thank you very much.